Hi, I'm Nick and this is the TbT channel. This video and the couple to follow it are all about the Diana sidelever rifles. That is the model 48, 52, 54 and 56. The models 54 and 56 are on a semi-recoilless sled system, which I will show. This is a 56. I will show you that and how to deal with that and things, but internally it's the same rifle. So this video works for all of the Diana sidelever models. Now, this one has come to me from a local gun shop because it doesn't cock. I will just show you briefly. The side lever comes down and it gets that far and no further. It's still under spring tension. It won't engage the trigger, so we need to take up the spring tension, press the anti-bear trap there and let it go back up. Now, rather worryingly, the safety is also jammed. The trigger's got tension on it, but the safety is jammed. The ideal solution would be I take this apart, find a broken spring, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, put it back together again. Job's a good one. I suspect the trigger's knackered. It is a T06 model, so I can get a replacement trigger for it, but it would be nice if it was just the spring that needs replacing. But we'll see when we get inside it. I'm second guessing here. I'm pretending I know what I'm talking about. Maybe I do. Anyway, let's take it apart. That'll be fun. That's always fun. We like taking things apart. Now here we have two screws underneath, one at the front, one there. The two trigger guard screws don't need to come out, so one from there and one from here. It's very early on a Monday morning, in case you're wondering. This is the thing, you may be watching this any time of the day. You could be watching it years in the future. For all I know, our ant overlords have taken over the world and you're arming yourselves with Diana side levers to protect your homes from them. Anything could happen. Now, we've got the stock off. I've got my two stock screws with washers safely there. I'm going to put the stock down there. On the 54 and the 56 you will then find these little things, which is metal and rubber washers. They sit there and there on our little sled systems. I'll show you the sled systems on the rebuild, or possibly in the second one, I'm not sure which, but put those to one side. The stock's off, we can see everything. And I can see the trigger unit. Nothing's moving in that trigger unit. I suspect somebody's been playing in there. I wish people wouldn't play with their guns, then put them back together and say it's broken. I don't know what went wrong. Anyway, we're going to carry on taking this apart because that's what we do. This is fun. Got to remember that. This is fun. We do this for enjoyment. Next, we need to remove our cocking arm. Not the cocking arm, the cocking arm. And that is held on by this pin here with a circlip, and then there's a small bar here that is connected by this little pin and a circlip. So we'll start with the bigger one. We'll just ease him off there. I don't know if it's a circlip, an E-clip, an F-clip or what, but he's there. Pin comes through. So we've got circlip, pin, pin, circlip. Take the arm out and then be aware that as that comes out you have two shims or washers or shims. Both words are correct, but there are two of them and they are there. And then inside of that hole, orifice, inside the orifice, there is a little sleeve for the pin to run through as well. Take that out, put it with the pin and the washers and or shims so you don't lose it, because it can drop out unnoticed later and then you'll be thinking, why is my arm gone all sloppy? And that will be why. Next, we've got the smaller circlip, which I'm going to take off without the aid of reading glasses. And look at that. I only went and did it. Small circlip, small pin. No shims or washers. Somebody's been in here. You probably would find shims and washers in there. I'm pretty certain. In one that hadn't been embuggered. One cocking arm. Hurrah. Now, that means we are free to remove the spring. That is the next thing, not this part. That goes there, out of the way. Next, we need to remove the spring. And you will see we have 2 pins holding the trigger unit at the back of the gun. This holds all of the spring tension, of which there is very little on this. So I'm not going to feel the need for a spring compressor. You may feel the need for a spring compressor. If you do, what I use is a sash clamp with a simple piece of wood screwed onto it, so that when it sits on the bench, the jaws, basically the height of that jaw and the height of that piece of wood are roughly the same, so it's not falling over. It's all supported and all lovely. Just put that there now. Now, Mike's here, still here. He's here until the 9th. He's going back to the... I think this video is going to come out on the 9th, actually, or 10th. So Michael have actually gone in real time, but he's still there at the moment, but he's going back to the UK. He's making his last journey on the 9th. So it'll be farewell to Mike. It's been nice. When I'm not making my actual videos, when I'm practicing or just tinkering or generally buggering about on the bench, I chat to him all the time. I'm going to miss him. There you go. So I'm going to bash these pins through. Bash is a harsh word. I'm going to tap them gently through with care. 1. Now, because there are 2, what you can do is tap one through with a screwdriver and then leave it in place. Then knock the other one through with another screwdriver. There are your 2 pins. They are both the same length. They are both the same thickness. This is a T06 trigger. I can push these through with impunity. With some of the older triggers, I think the T01 trigger in particular, it is best practice to make a couple of dowels shorter than these so that they can hold all the trigger parts in place but not interfere on the arms, on the outside of the chassis. So they need to be, these ones are going to be about 30mm long. 38mm long. These ones are 38mm long. You want them to be the diameter of the inside of that tube, which I will measure interfrastically. We'll come back to that. Remind me in a second. Let's take the spring pressure off of this first. So all the spring pressure is now on this screwdriver, which is great because all you have to do is give a little down, even with a poorly shoulder, little downward tug, pull that through, and there we go. The spring tension has gone. Now we will measure what we need those pins to be. If we take it to the plastics on each side, that would be best. So onto there, 30mm. So if you make a couple of pins, 5mm in diameter or just under, and 30mm in length or just under, that means you can tap those into place and they can be there inside of the trigger to stop all the parts moving in older triggers. It's not needed in the T05. You just have to be aware that the little spring there for the safety catch, which was stuck actually, it's a little bit of movement there now, but that will need just to be pushed down when you put a pin in, but we'll burn that bridge when we get to it. That's my trigger unit out. Is me spring? Is the spring going to be broken? Is this going to be an easy fix? Is this going to be something I can go, hurrah, put it all back together and get on with the rest of my day? Spring's fine. There you go. That's the spring. That's the guide that comes. You'll notice, if somebody has been in this, which I suspect they have, and bugged around with the trigger, they didn't go as far as doing anything else inside the gun. It's just oil on everything. It's nasty. But anyway, there's our spring. There's our guide. Now we can take the piston and compression tube out. to do this, we need to, whoop, not too far, drop down the compression tube and this arm needs to come off, and he is held in by an Allen headed screw there, and the Allen headed screw requires a 2.5mm Allen key. Now let's think, lefty loosey righty tighty. Because we're restricted for space in here, we can only do it half a turn at a time, so we'll just take that off of there without my reading glasses. I'm a fool to myself. Can you get up? No. This is all in real time, as you know. Unless I have to wander off and have a cup of tea or a pee break or look for something that I forgot to bring with me, I don't do any editing, because a lot of people think taking guns apart is complicated. If it was, I wouldn't be doing it. You can do this. It takes as long as it takes me to do this. Once you've done it a couple of times, and you do need to do it a couple of times, because if you have a spring air rifle, you need regular maintenance. That means you need to be able to take your gun apart, clean it, re-lube it and put it back together if you've been caught out in heavy rain, or once a year or once every 5 tins of pellets, whatever you choose to do. Right, so there is our little thing, whoop, threaded at one end, smooth at the other, that holds in the cocking arm. Okay, so he can now come free, which means our compression tube and piston are free to fall out. Oh, it's still heavy. And these are oily as well. That's just nasty. Who puts oil in a gun? Who throws a shoe? There we go. That is it. That is your piston. That is your compression tube. That is your trigger unit. Broken. Need a new one of those. And that is your gun completely apart. Please like, subscribe, hit notifications, leave comments if you've got any comments about what you've seen in this or want to know more. If it isn't in the following videos, then put a comment down below. Comments matter to me. So join me in the next one, where I'm going to look at what we're going to do next. Now, the trigger's broken. It's going to take weeks for the trigger to arrive, so I'm going to pretend the trigger isn't broken in the next one, and we're going to rebuild the gun with a kit, etc. But anyway, that's another matter, a story for another day. Thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you all again soon. Goodbye.